Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
It sounded like you had to think of that right at the end of Geekshow.
No, it's just a build-up lead-in, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
I think it was Tony's
the
brain
pause
thinking.
punch.
Yeah.
What's it called? Pause punch something.
I think it's called a verbal pause. Like when
No.
you use the word a bunch, you just elongated your word to make sure you said the next word correctly.
No, there's a term for it. I learned it in my public speaking class at UVU back in 2003. Yep.
Oh yeah, things
Wow.
have changed since then.
No.
You're gonna need
It
to
would have
go
been
again.
2007.
You're an old fart, Tony.
You're
I know.
gonna have to relearn. That's all changed now,
Yeah, okay. Just
Not
like
supposed to do
math
it.
in the elementary schools.
like you've seen.
All right, this is the Geek Show Help Desk, where we talk about tech, gadgets, and interesting technological things, space stuff, maybe science. I don't know. We'll see.
Elon Musk usually creeps up somehow.
Always.
Oh my
You know?
goodness.
He's got his fingers in a lot of pies, and he does a lot of dumb things that get to talk about. So, he's a staple on the show, unfortunately. Let's start by introducing our panelists. We'll start with Jaren.
Hi, I'm Jaren. You can find me on Geek Show Arcade and Helpdesk.
All right. Next is Lando.
Hey, it's Lando. You can find me on Geek Show Arcade and Helpdesk.
All right. And following Lando, we got Owen.
Hey there. Yeah, that's me. My name's Owen. So must be talking about me.
Yes.
You can follow me here mostly. I'm usually just here enjoying the joke ninja. Our host, Tony.
Hey, check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony or on other Geek Show podcasts.
I'm gonna call you that from now on. The joke ninja.
Joke Ninja.
I sometimes listen to Geek Show, the actual Geek Show podcast, just to hear the joke ninja.
Yeah, I don't get to be as much of a joke ninja on these shows because I'm driving.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
You
have
can
one
let-
of
you can let me
guys.
run it.
You want to run it? Okay, Jaren, you're running the shows next week.
Okay. This will be great.
You better
Okay.
show up as a joke ninja then. That's
Yep.
a lot of pressure.
Well, you know
Joke
what?
pressure I want.
Joke ninjas are usually so much more organic. You can't really force that.
I know. So we'll see how it goes. Next week might be a disaster. Who knows?
Or the best show yet.
That's we'll reserve judgment on that one.
That's
Yeah,
funny right there.
Yeah. All right.
Or the best show yet.
I mean, that's a possibility. A very small
So
one, but
far.
it's in the realm.
The best
Sure,
show yet?
That's-
That's like walking up to the slot machine and being like, yeah, I might win.
I might win. All right. Jaren told me already we don't have any emails, so we can cruise right along into this week's subjects. We got some subjects that we're going to talk about. Let's get this one out of the way first because it's a recurring theme. It appears every, once a year, twice
Oh.
a year. No, Wyze. The
Wyze.
camera manufacturers messing their security stuff up again.
This is pretty good because this
They're
wasn't
cheap
even
for
like
a reason.
this wasn't even
That's
an
fair.
attack. This was just a misconfig or something that happened with AWS, their back end.
Yeah.
So they store their stuff on AWS on the back end, and they're like 99.75% of customers were not affected or something like that.
I got the email because I have a
Yeah.
Wyze camera that I use to point at my cat's food and water to make sure it's running.
So
And they're like,
That's
your
Hey.
account and
Yeah.
99.97% of the accounts did not get affected.
yeah, so about 13,000 customers though did, and by 13,000 that means that anybody, so Tony included, and all of the unaffected people could access any of those 13,000 people's thumbnails and videos and stuff, I believe even stored on the SD card.
I missed my chance, is what you're saying.
You missed your chance to see some freaks.
Some of their pet bulls.
Or pet bowls or the backyard. Anyway, yeah, so some sort of storage issue and web coding issue caused the access to basically anybody with the URL, like duplicate URLs is what I think. So normally when you pull up your stuff, your cookies and your settings are saved and locked to your account.
Right.
But it let web creep, like basically like code creep. And so if just like when people would hack into would bomb Zoom calls at the beginning of the pandemic by just getting the link and then randomly just going through and trying the random Zoom meeting numbers until one of them worked. Kind of the same thing, but in this case, they didn't have to try to randomly find a number. And when they went to go check their stuff, the URL took them to somebody else's. Yeah. And so they quickly disabled some features, like going and watching the events for everybody to stop people from browsing. But for 40 minutes, 2,300 people that were logged in. So there was actively 2,300 people logged in during that 40 minutes. They could see 10 at a time strangers' feeds.
Oh man!
So 10 strangers' feeds at a time could have been loaded up into there, and the company blamed this on a web caching issue, and said that it deployed numerous technical measures to prevent it from repeating.
Oh, good.
I just had an idea for a website.
What's that?
Just browsing people's random cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, you opt into it, of course, and I'm sure
isn't there a
some
website?
crazies out there would.
They already
There's
have
a
They would
website
do
that
it.
does that. What's it?
Yeah.
The one where it's a chat app where you just pop into other people's cameras
I
randomly and
think
talk
there's
to
a
random
couple.
people.
Isn't one of them roulette?
Chat roulette, but
Chat roulette.
that's not like a always on webcam though.
Oh no, yeah, it's people waiting to be chatted on and chatted on.
You could do random public cameras.
No,
Yeah, publicly
this should be
available.
this should be a citizen-driven. You should opt in if you're a weirdo and you want to.
I guarantee
You know,
this would be huge
There's
because
some money
there'd be a
in
lot
there.
of weirdos
Let
and
me
also
just-
a lot of weirdos wanting to see the weirdos' cameras.
Yep,
okay,
yep,
so
yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna cop to that until you said weirdos wanting to see weirdos cameras, because I would go definitely.
It would be fascinating,
Stare.
right?
Isn't it based? I mean, we're kind of just talking about like making
Voyeurism.
everyone's house, voyeuristic,
Yeah.
like Big Brother
but opt in.
style.
But we're
There's
opting
money
in.
here
These
for
are-
sure. I don't like
yeah.
it,
But
there's
it's
money here.
opt in, Tony.
It's opt in, Tony.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
All kinds of strange things are going to opt in, and I hate it.
Yeah, this is the.
But there's money, and I'm okay with that.
There's
Oh,
some
man.
money to be made and taken there. Anyway, Wyze, they're cheap, and so I still might buy one. I just won't put it in sensitive areas.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you're gonna
Just know that-
just
just
know,
know
that
that-
you'll probably get hacked again at some point, and don't
Yeah.
put it anywhere
Use
that
it
you
for
care
your pet
about.
bowls.
Yeah. The only thing I really worry about with getting hacked is using it as an entryway into my network. If they saw my cat bowls, well.
Just
But if they used it to,
just segregate
Yeah.
your cameras on different network.
yeah, it's a pain in the butt, Lando. You say that like it's just what everybody does.
You're a network engineer, are you not?
I am, but I choose not to be at home. I only
That's
play
the
one on
thing.
TV.
Yeah, why would I want to do more work at home?
Last
Like
thing
that-
I want to do when I get home is
Accounting.
accounting.
Well, I feel that.
Like at
I
home-
feel
like-
that. You're right. But
at
it's
home,
not
my-
that
at home,
big
my
a
network-
deal, really.
At home, my local network is still 192.168.1 dot. Like, it's not
Well,
even.
of course it is. Because you're
Hardly
a
anyone-
human being like
hardly
everyone else.
anyone
But
changes their
just
default.
create another network. It's not that hard.
private
But at work,
network.
we would never allow that.
Yeah,
like,
for
an
sure.
internal LAN, you know. So anyway, be careful. And if you were one of the lucky 2,300, let us know. I mean, if you were one of the
what you
2,300
saw.
let us know what you saw. If it was anything cool, like a murder, or I don't know,
Or my pet bowls.
if you saw Tony's pet bowls, please let us know, because inquiring minds need to know.
That's
Are
right.
they, what colors are they, and how much does Simon eat in a day? 40 minutes worth of whatever that is.
Probably just nothing, because most of the day he's sleeping. So that's
What a lazy
What a
lazy
good
I
cat.
want to be a cat.
I do too, man.
All right, let us move along to. I have two really weird stories, and we can kind of combine them together here. Genetic engineering, has it gone too far? Maybe. A company in South Korea have figured out a way to infuse rice grains with cow muscle and fat cells.
Ugh.
So it has created meat rice.
I
Wait,
can't
what?
wait for this. This is like the hot dog.
Oh, it
this
looks
is like
just-
this is
oh.
like a hot dog of.
This is disgusting.
Would you like some meat in your rice? Yeah, put some maybe some chunks of chicken. No, actual meat
No.
in the rice
Yeah,
grain.
We've
marketing
impregnated
photos
the
are
rice with
great.
meat.
Yep. So basically what they've done here is they coated each grain of rice in a fish gelatin to help meat cells latch on. Next, they insert cow muscle and fat stem cells into each grain, which are then
Why?
left to culture in a petri dish. So,
Give me a use
in
case
case
for
you're
this.
not up to date with the way rice is, like its physical properties, rice grains feature a porous yet organized internal structure that actually mimics the biological scaffolds found in meat cells. That's a direct quote, all of that from the article here on Engadget. So basically, it creates a nice house for meat cells to multiply.
The picture looks really bad because it's not cooked. But if it's cooked and it starts looking okay,
It's
maybe
pink.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
is
because it's
pink.
uncooked. The
Yeah, but
marketing
like-
picture ain't great.
But
I
like
think
if
that's
you
cooked.
if you
I've never
cook it-
seen
Oh.
uncooked rice look that clumpy, so that's cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's not great.
It does
It
not
looks bad.
appetizing
Like if
at
it's
all.
coated in
I was
meat,
trying to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Wouldn't you brown it just like hamburger? Doesn't it just look like a bowl of
Yeah,
raw hamburger and a
the fat should brown it, right?
One
Yeah,
would
right.
think maybe that's what they need to do to make it look a little more appetizing.
Give me a practical use case. Do they have one in here?
So
like-
basically, they're still working on the refinement and if it's going to be even able to scale up. But they're saying it could be used to help sustain countries or places in the world that are having famine issues.
Oh, okay.
or
There we
space
go.
for food.
Getting
Because-
protein.
Exactly.
I'd rather eat crickets than that.
you get protein in the rice, more protein in the rice. So, and since it uses cells,
So
instead
hold on,
of slaughtering a
stop.
cow,
stop.
you also
I
aren't
want to
killing
interrupt
the
you, Tony.
cows.
We
Yeah.
skimmed over Jaron wanting to eat crickets. I think we should buy in some crickets for the show. This is content. Let's not pass up a good opportunity for content.
You know what? I think I've had enough of that. You and your switch phones and eating crickets. I don't know.
When is that going to start? By the way, May?
don't-
Is that when
I
we
don't know.
decided?
Yeah, our spring barbecue.
Okay, all right. So there you go, meat rice, meat
Grumble, grumble.
rice, and then I found this other article this week. The USDA has approved what the company that makes these are calling Firefly Petunias, and they are petunias which leaves are bioluminescent.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the USDA's approval of this
These are
means they
cool.
can be sold on the open market.
Hell yeah.
And you
That's
can have
cool.
flowers in your house, potted plants in your house that emit bioluminescence.
I am so down for this.
I
Seeing
want
this
this.
for the
Yeah.
life
if
right
only I
now.
could grow plants in my house without them dying.
It says
Are you cursed?
during the day they're
I'm
indistinguishable
human.
from regular petunias, but then they spliced in naturally bioluminescent mushroom genes, and in the dark, the flowers and leaves emit a soft green glow.
Can they do that to like pets and stuff?
Yeah.
Why not?
100%.
Sure.
I'm okay. I'm here for this. We
And
need
it
to do this
says-
to everything.
It says also the healthier the plant and the more sunlight it gets, the brighter the glow. So it can get somewhere up to around the level of moonlight.
Wow, that's bright and
Sweet.
that's actually pretty bright.
Yeah,
It's like a nightlight for your
it's
house. Natural.
So cool, so cool.
Where do I get those?
Let's see. Well, that's the thing. If I can find out, on
there.
the-
Is there a
They're
price?
just approved. They're just
yeah,
approved.
they're taking pre-orders. It's only $29 a plant, which sounds like a lot for a petunia plant, but it glows. So
It's but that's a
Oh.
lot for a
I
for a
mean,
petunia
I-
plant that could likely die though, right? Like
This is
Well,
cheap.
I think for the effect you're getting, $29 is a bargain.
Oh,
and
100%
maybe
it's a bargain.
that if Jaron, if you pay $29 for a plant, that would motivate you to keep it alive, right? Like the value would make you more
The
attentive.
motivation isn't the problem.
How do you?
Just your ability to not
Why?
water plants.
My wife is terrible with plants, and she keeps hers alive.
Because it requires communication. Like, oh, did you water the plant? Did I water the plant? Did you overwater it?
You can
Maybe I
automate
underwatered
this.
Dude.
You can automate this part of your life.
Oh,
Use NFC
totally.
tags, dude.
it. Don't judge me. I don't need your
you know what?
judgment today.
You know, we just switched to? We just switched to those watering bulbs. You just fill with water and you stick it in the dirt and it just keeps
Good
it watered for like a
2
week or
weeks
so.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, solve problems at work, not at home.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Don't make Jaron look dumb.
Sorry.
Although
Leave
that's
work
the
at-
best part
leave,
of the show.
Leave work at work. I get it. Get it.
So there, for $29, you get a 4-inch pot with developing buds, which will grow to around 8 or 10 inches in size.
$29 includes the pot. This is
Yeah,
a bargain.
apparently. And
Should
they are
have
now
bought this for Valentine's Day instead
they're-
of roses that are going to go away in
That's
like
right.
2 days.
First batch of pre-orders should go out around April. So, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Where was this? It says sadly the company is not shipping elsewhere at this stage. What does it mean by elsewhere? Elsewhere besides the U.S.?
I hope so.
I must have missed that part of the article. Anyway, if it's here or if it's somewhere now in the U.S., it'll be prolific within the next 5 years.
Look up
It'll
Light
catch up.
Bio.
Yeah.
Right, that's the
yeah,
company.
Light Bio is the company.
Light Bio is the company. If you really have to have one, which I kind of do.
Light
as well.
Space Bio. So anyway,
First batch is only 50,000 orders, so you got to get in on
get
it.
in quick.
Better move quick.
I thought that was pretty rad. Let's see. Let's talk about something that's rad but also scary, and that would be OpenAI's Sora video generation stuff.
Have you guys seen these videos yet?
I've seen some of them, and they are really good.
They are terrifyingly good. Like, there's still some weird, like, uncanny valley things happening. If you look
For sure.
close at them, they're really weird.
Have
However,
you,
when you
have you seen the cat with the 3 arms?
no, I haven't seen that one.
It's the cat in the bed with the kid like sleeping in it, and the cat like puts up an arm, puts up another arm, and then it still has his other arm like down on the bed. It's even though there's AI issues in it, it looks
It just
like
looks
magic.
like a cat that has 3 arms.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane.
so, I mean, for those of you who are living underneath a rock and don't know what we're talking about, this is OpenAI's what they're calling Sora. So this is ChatGPT, people, and you can literally put a prompt in and output video. It's
Wow.
bonkers crazy. And like, yeah, there's some weird things that happen, but the terrifying part about this is like AI's been around for just over a year now. To see the video progress and where we were a year ago versus where we are now are 2 very different places. And if we make that jump again in 1 more year,
it's already
it's scary, right?
it's already at
Like,
a point where it can totally fool people.
yeah, it already
For pe-
is, and it's
yeah,
just
for
it's
people that don't know
crazy.
what to look for, it would fool.
And
people
AI is
pretty
not
easily.
always it doesn't always have artifacts. So
No.
like
Yeah, I read an article about OpenAI is looking putting watermarks and things in, like, to make it very obvious that it's AI because it is fooling people.
and why can't you just crop out that watermark?
Exactly.
Unless you
Yeah.
put it right in the middle of the screen.
One.
Right,
And
right.
the government's starting to take note too. The FTC just released a proposal to ban AI tools from impersonating individuals. Now, that's different because AI can also just create individuals, but
Yep.
but in person, I don't know if you guys heard about that Texas robo dialing that was like impersonating Biden, telling people not to vote.
Oh, I did hear about that.
And
Crazy.
and so FTC is starting to take note that it can be dangerous. Probably some of those old people in Congress got some of those robocalls hearing Biden say, "Don't vote for me."
Have you seen the Will Smith eating spaghetti AI video?
So I saw the old one. Is the new one actually AI, or is it Will Smith who filmed it making a joke?
The new one is actually Will Smith making a joke.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the old one is creepy.
The old one
It's
is
super
terrifying AF. And we've gone from that to this, and it's stunning.
Yeah, just, I mean, spend any amount of time on Twitter right now, and the videos are just everywhere.
Yeah, I read, I think it was a tweet or something somewhere, and the guy said, imagine a future where you ask AI to give you a TV show, and you are the only one in the entire world who has seen that TV show, and you cannot share it with anyone else.
And you probably will be the only one who will ever see that TV show.
Yeah,
A bespoke TV show made just for you by AI.
that to some it might sound cool, but to me that sounds terrifying and hollow, and I don't want that.
We
you
already,
know?
I mean, we're already kind of living a hollow life as it is with things the way they are, right? Like, if you think about, sorry, I've been thinking
You
about this a
are.
lot because I saw a thing on TikTok about it. But like when we were kids, life was much different than kids have today. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
gaming when we were kids was couch co-op, and today it's not that. It's my friends are in my ears. It's a
Yep.
whole different experience, right?
I did network gaming when I was growing up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're
but I
still
bet
in
you
the
were-
same room.
No, like Command and Conquer, I played online. I played
There was
Jedi
a little
Knight
bit, sure,
online.
but it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it was the minority of content, not
And
the
there
majority.
also wasn't the chat aspect when back in that time.
Not
Right.
voice chat, but there was
there
definitely
was keyboard chat.
Yeah, there was keyboard
But
chat.
it was that's different. You would never have played that back in the day and felt like you had a social interaction.
Right.
Whereas if you play
I kind of
Fortnite,
did. Like I got invited to a clan. Like, oh, I feel so cool. I want to be friends
yeah,
with
but
these
it's not, I mean,
guys.
it still
not the
doesn't
same. And not
equal
only just that, but like
what
just
it is today.
gaming and TV and like entertainment in general is far more prevalent today than it was when we were kids. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like my kid, he's 9, has probably played far more video games than I had by the time I was 9, which is probably saying something about me as a parent. But let's ignore that part of it.
It sounds like it's saying you should have played more games before you were 9.
Well, and the social aspect too. Like it expands everything. My nephew, his girlfriend is in Colorado, and we're in Utah. My son, his girlfriend's in California. They've never even
that's-
met each other.
That is
But
so
they're
bizarre
like,
to me.
But they're like in a relationship, and
Right. He has a
It's like-
girlfriend in Canada. Mhm.
I know.
yeah. The point is like this AI stuff is
Exactly.
just going to take that even more to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It might.
and I understand generations are different from generations, right? But the time from when we were kids and when our parents were kids was more or less the same. But the jump from when we were kids to my kids to their kids feels like a huge leap
Like
and bound
a
different to me.
Different
Is-
world.
Is
Like,
this the technology that we are going to age out on, and our kids are going to be like, "Oh, sure, AI, cool, use it."
I would say
I don't know.
maybe, except for the fact that we're all very interested in this kind of stuff, and so I think none of us were going to have a problem staying up to date on it because it's what fascinates us, you know. So
It's
Anyway,
interesting to think about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the implications politically,
Oh, that scares the crap out of
socially,
me.
but what about
globally.
the
Ugh.
implications? That was Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. If you guys didn't catch that,
Nope. Sorry.
great show. Let's see, Jaren. Let's talk about Mars.
Oh, that's the one you chose? Okay.
Why did you put it on there if you don't want me to choose it?
I do. I just wanted to talk about other things
I
first.
feel like how was Tony supposed to know that? You didn't number him? I just like how every time Tony picks one of your stories, you're like, ugh,
Oh,
that
that
one.
one?
I think you should
Ugh,
bring less
Tony.
stories.
Tony, what?
Bring ones that really count.
Okay, fine. We won't talk about that one.
NASA has an
Lando.
open call for simulating a
So we've been talking a lot about Vision
year-long
Vision Pro
Mars
lately,
mission.
right?
Are we talking over each other or what? Is this?
Yeah. Tony moved on to my story. You said you didn't want to do yours.
It's a cage fight.
Now we're going back to Jaren.
Fine.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, NASA has an open call for people who want to go to Mars locally here on Earth.
One-way ticket.
You have to be there for a year. You have to be 30 to 55 years old,
I fit that.
working inside a 1,700 square foot 3D printed habitat based at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston.
I'm in. How much?
Can my wife come?
No.
You didn't sound sure of that.
Well, you both have to apply and be accepted, and I assume they're not going to put you together. So if you don't want to be around your family and you want to get excuse, here you go.
Is this
Is
got to
that
be
why
the
you jumped
mental?
on that, Landon?
Is this got to
I'm
be
in.
the
How do I do
mental? The mental
I didn't think
testing.
through.
Is this to see if people can mentally handle
Guarantee. Yeah.
that portion? Because
Yep.
it's
the
not like
isolation and stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
limited resources and
Wasn't there
Yeah.
a TV show about this very premise on Apple
yeah,
TV? I think.
biodome.
There's
No,
Bro.
there's a newer
Holy
TV
shit.
show.
Biodome. Come
we
on.
did this already.
I just aged. I just
There was
aged
a
myself,
documentary
but come
about
on,
it.
that
Pauly
was a
Shore
great
was in
movie.
it.
Yeah, the documentary.
Definitely aged
Biodome.
yourself with that
Yeah.
statement, that reference.
Anyway, applicants, they need to have a master's degree in a STEM field,
Oh, well,
With-
that was me.
2 years of STEM experience professionally. So yeah, none of us
Wanna-
qualify.
Yeah, they want to lock a
unfortunately.
bunch of scientists together.
Accounting isn't
engineer.
STEM for some reason. I don't know.
It's what the heck?
They don't need accountants on Mars. Come on.
Science, technology,
Engineering.
Engineering and math.
Engineering, math. Accounting is math.
No, accounting is like grade school math mixed with law. Yeah.
That sounds boring. That's your job.
Dude, do you
Sounds
not know what
easy.
accounting is?
Sounds
I
easy.
know.
That's
now
on you.
Now I do.
That sounds easy.
I'm trying to jab at Jared whenever I can. That's all.
Let's see what. The show that you're thinking of might possibly be the fantastic show on Hulu last year called Stars on Mars.
I think that might be it.
It was a reality TV
Maybe someone at
show.
No, it
NASA
wasn't
was just
reality show,
watching
it was
that. It's like,
scripted.
that's a great idea. We need to do this.
I thought Stars on Mars was pretty fun, and
Come on.
they got what's his face to host it, Shatner,
William Shatner?
Ah,
Dude,
that-
if
I
they
can't
don't-
believe he's still alive.
If they don't have a cardboard cutout of Pauly Shore welcoming them into the biodome,
Yeah, they chose wrong then.
they've messed it up.
Well, there you go. Where does they sign up? Where do people sign up for this if they want to? Contact
just-
NASA.
Yeah.
Just
Call him up.
email info at
Where's
nasa.gov.
the link's probably in here.
Yeah. It's called Chapea 2. Chapea Mission 2.
Was there a first
Chapea. So it's chapea.nasa.gov.
Probably didn't go so well.
How do you spell Chapea?
First one was a
I already
dud.
said that.
All right, Jared, tell us about your experience with the Apple Vision Pro.
All right.
You did it? You did the thing?
I did the thing. I didn't buy it. I used someone else's, and boy, was that a good choice.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Oh,
So this is not a review. I only used it for like 20, 25 minutes.
More than I've used it.
So it's just impressions.
this is a poor man's review. This is a.
No,
the
not a
lay
review
person.
at all, Owen. Come on.
It is.
All right. So, first of all, it didn't turn on. It turns out the power connector can be fiddly because it was connected, but it would not turn on. I had to take it off, put it back on.
Interesting. Sounds like a you
Anyway,
problem.
I was really expecting more from the pass-through from all the reviews I read. And
Like
it is
higher quality or
higher
what?
quality, yeah. It is indeed the best pass-through, but that ain't saying much because the pass-through of all other virtual reality headsets is crap.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as spatially, like, you feel like you're in the space, yes, it's very good. The latency is amazing, like everyone said.
I feel like
How-
I'm in the space.
Like, it feels like you're actually in the room with your eyes, but your eyes look like they've been torn out and replaced with really low-res Geordie LaForge eyeballs.
Low res? Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
How low res?
Are you sure it wasn't the lighting? Was it dim in the room? Or
It was a bright office room.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't think that it's on the screen, it feeling low res. I think it's on the camera and the encoding.
Interesting.
Like my friend came to the office and he looked like a low res version of Dave.
Ah.
Yeah. And when you move your head, everything has motion blur to it in a bad way.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Yeah. So it's not great when you're moving your head around. If you're stationary
Things tighten
and
up.
you're focusing on content, like the windows around you that you place, then it looks pretty decent. And like the way the 3D feels, it feels like real life, but just low res with
Did
motion
you
blur.
turn the crown to have it like bring in a background so you're like
I did.
on Mars or
I
whatever?
did. Yeah, I visited the moon, Mount Hood, a few other places.
How was that? Was that pretty high res or is that low res still?
No, that was very high res, but you can tell it was like a 3D render of those places, so it didn't feel real. It felt like you were in a high quality video game.
Google Maps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
looking
better
around.
than that,
Yeah.
but it didn't feel real. Those places, the placement of the windows is actually a lot of fun. Like being able to put windows wherever you want. It casts shadows in real life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. In the real blurry life. The eye tracking wasn't great, but that's because I couldn't calibrate it to my own eyes.
Oh.
So I can't judge that, but I can judge typing with the eye tracking. Because I put in the passcode, which very huge target, so I didn't have problem with eye tracking in that scenario. It is kludgy, man. So bad as an input method. Like a keyboard is absolutely necessary if you want to get anything done on it. Because looking at something, then moving your hand, then looking at something else and moving your hand, you think it'd be fast, but you'd be surprised at how much you move your eyes while you're doing input with your hands at the same time.
See, Apple just needs to finally adopt swipe, right? And then
No,
you
they
could
did
just
finally on the phones.
Oh.
Yeah,
They did that years ago.
Oh yeah,
a couple years
but it
ago.
was new.
Yeah, they
I
made a
didn't.
new version of it, of course.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
better.
It's like you should just swipe inside the headset and not have to use your hands.
Honestly, I didn't notice the FOV, so I guess that's a good thing.
So if you couldn't calibrate it to your eyes, though, is that why it didn't look so crisp and so good? Maybe.
No. So it calibrated my what's it called?
IPD.
IPD, interpupillary distance. It
Yeah.
did calibrate that automatically,
okay.
but you have to do a different calibration for eye tracking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because everything else looked pin sharp. Like the actual UI elements, they looked fine. It's just the path through it didn't look great. And the last thing I'll touch on is the comfort. It is absolutely horrible.
Unbalanced, right? For a
Unbalanced. I started to get pains on my face after just 20 minutes.
heavy- Yeah.
Your mileage may vary, but I found my Quest 2 with the special strap thingy to be infinitely more comfortable. I could play Half-Life Alyx for hours with that. This, I started to get pain after 20 minutes.
Got to get some sort of anchor to hang on the back.
Yeah, and
They have one you can get that has a top strap and whatnot.
even then, it's still too front heavy. What made
Oh,
the
yeah,
Quest
that's
comfortable for
true.
me was the battery
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back,
And the
which
battery
counterbalanced the weight on your face.
That makes sense.
And the battery was on the table the entire time. So like the actual battery, which is surprisingly heavy, by the way, it's heavier than my phone. The actual battery, which was surprising. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. It is definitely a Gen 1. At this point, I would seriously, if I had to choose between a Vision Pro and Oculus Quest 3, I would, and money were no object, I would literally choose Quest 3 at this point.
So like 5 out of 5 on that review.
Vision Pro.
It's not a review. So,
But do you see potential? Like, do you think Gen 3, 4, or 5 are going to be better? Not worth our time?
well,
What do you
yeah, of
think?
course, anything can be better in the future, but it's
Well,
not good.
okay,
it's
okay.
not good right now.
I'm
Let
still-
me rephrase what I'm trying to ask. Do you think it's a product that's going to be viable for Apple long term?
Apple's
I
better
hope
about
so.
that.
I hope
Apple's
so.
better about
Okay.
that than Google. Like Google would
Yeah.
scrap. Look
True
what they did to
that.
Glass. Like Glass kind of failed, and they were like,
I,
but they'll stick with this because
Yeah.
they've got the money to move
This
to
is
lose on it.
This is the very definition of a minimum viable product.
Right.
Like there's
Proof,
hardly
almost proof of concept. Like
yes, almost.
Yeah.
There's hardly anything compelling about it. But Apple knew they had to charge a high price, and the Apple diehards would pay it. So they probably charged the high price, so they wouldn't be such a huge loss for.
and as the price goes down, they can only keep winning, right? Like if they get this cheaper.
And the reason I would choose a Quest 3 at this point is because for me, spatial computing, as Apple likes to call it, it's the best use case right now is video games. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
Quest
at this
3,
point.
the Quest platform has the games, and there's some really good games. Whereas
And
the,
the
Apple's
vision, they're trying to say this is a enhancement
Actual-
device.
they're,
like
they're trying to say this is a
device.
productivity machine
yeah.
/ entertainment device.
right.
And to me, I don't like entertainment solo.
Did
Some
you
people
watch
do.
any content on it? Did you watch any like giant movie screen movies?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
I'd be interested to know what that experience is like.
Yeah, like the screen, great screen. I bet that would be a compelling experience as long as you're fine with it not hurting after 20 minutes and
Well, I
watching
still
stuff
can't believe
solo.
They didn't create a head strap that counterbalances with the battery in the back. Meta's been doing that with the Quest for 3 generations now. How did they fumble that? You know,
Well, doesn't the
That's-
Quest require a computer to plug into it? Is that the computer's
No.
not built in, right?
No, it's
No, it's
standalone.
built in.
It's standalone.
Yep.
Okay.
You
And it has more
can-
battery life too.
You can plug it into a computer for more graphically intense games if you want, but
Right.
it is standalone.
Yeah, and it's lighter. They need to drop the glass front. They need to drop
They need to cut weight on this thing.
the front display. It just makes no
The
sense.
eyeballs. The
Yeah, the
come on.
eyeballs.
What a-
So
it's
the
great
eyeballs
gimmick.
were my friends because I hadn't calibrated it to my face, and someone else walked in. He's like, "Hey, I can see your eyes." Like, they're not my eyes.
Not mine.
It must have looked way weird.
That's hilarious. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Apple Vision Pro review from Jaron.
huge Gen 1 product. Wait for the next generations, unless you have literal money to burn.
All right. Let's see. Leading into that, Lando has an article here that says, "Not the glasses we want, but maybe the ones we deserve."
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I'm struggling. So the reason why I asked my question to Jaron is like I'm struggling to see the use case for Apple Vision. Like, I want to like it. I want to have one. I want to be like the Apple fanboy in this scenario. But I'm like, find myself just being like, meh on the whole thing for a lot of the reasons Jaron talked about.
Yeah.
It'll get there someday.
I think it'll get there, but even still, do I want to like work or do computing stuff with this giant thing shoved to my face? Like, what I really want is Google Glass. Is what I
That's the
really
thing.
want.
The,
Right, yeah.
the
AR.
AR with a HUD in my daily life,
Yep.
I think would be rad.
So
you know?
there's a company called Brilliant Labs that are creating glasses that are almost that.
They sound smart.
So they're calling them AI glasses. They're called frame glasses is the name of them, and they're AI glasses. So you remember a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, I talked about the Humane Pin. Remember that
Yeah.
thing you pin in your
Oh,
shirt and you talk
that's
to it. It's an
horrible.
AI, and that like displays your hand, which is kind of an interesting idea. This is basically that, but in glasses form, but with the display built in, so you can actually
Yeah.
use the glasses to see things.
That's what I want.
It's really cool. So these things have where was it? Hold on. They feature a 640 by 400 pixel color micro OLED that projects light through a prism in front of your eyes. It offers
was
roughly a 20-degree diagonal field of view. So it's not like anything spectacular.
No, I don't need it covering my whole vision.
No, but
You
like
know?
it'll display information to you and like show you search
Yeah.
results and like the screen is in your glasses. Now these glasses are goofy looking. I will admit that.
I don't
But
think
you
they're
watch
that
the
bad,
video,
actually.
They're
and they
not-
look
definitely
pretty
not
dope.
They're definitely not the worst looking pair of
Yeah.
AR glasses
What are those?
I've ever seen.
What about
by
that Snapchat? Was it Snapchat? Who
Snap,
did those?
Snap glasses or something like
Yeah,
that? It was
whatever
a
those were.
Snapchat product. Yeah.
Yeah.
These look. They just look like round spectacles. Look how
Where's the processing take place? Is it on
probably
On your
in
phone.
those.
Okay,
Okay,
so it's-
and
so it's
you
a
probably
Bluetooth
receive
device.
it through the and the batteries are these balls on the end. These
Yep.
these spherical parts on the end of the frames, which hide behind your head. So these don't look terrible at all.
And the
Yeah.
fact that I have a display built in, to be honest, Tony, I am far more interested in these glasses at this
Yeah.
price point than I am the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Yes, agree, 100%.
Yeah.
The concept, yes. Big question mark on
Well, okay.
if
I
the
mean,
software experience is actually
yeah,
good or
yeah,
not.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so right now, let's talk about that software experience right now, is there's going to be a subscription to them, and there's going to be a daily limit to how many AI queries you can make.
Daily cap.
A daily cap,
Well, I don't
yeah,
want
which
to make
is
AI queries. I just want to have it send
I want their
stuff from my
notifications
phone.
and crap. Yeah,
Yeah. I want
I
the
want it-
glasses. I want the glasses from Free Guy. You know.
Yeah.
right.
Put
That's
those on.
exactly what I
That's
want.
what, that's what I want. I want to be able to see my bank account when I look at my bank. Like I want
And
to be
this
able
is
to.
the closest thing to that I've seen yet.
I want
Nope.
it to see people in front of me and tell me, "Do you?
What
yes,
their
you know
stats
this
are?
guy. What is their name?
Yeah.
Or
Like if it could just display a name. That's
how
Yeah.
cool would it be to have Google Maps projected onto these when you drive? You know,
right. Oh,
Great.
Yep. So the only way for Jaron, you mentioned the weight of the Apple Vision Pro. So the Apple Vision Pro is 600 grams. These things are less than 40.
Wow,
That's doable. All
Yeah.
day.
That's
Yeah.
That's very
doable, right? Isn't I mean these things? I saw these things. I watched the video. I'm like, these things are cool. Like, and then not only that, but like $350.
That's not a crazy asking.
That's
price.
not a crazy ask at all.
Do you remember what Google Glass was? 15 hundo.
Oh yeah,
Was
these
it?
things are way cheaper.
$1,500 and you can get, well, if you have a prescription like two of us here at least, then the prescription inserts on these would bring the price up to $448.
Right.
Which
Still.
here's the thing: when you consider the cost of a nice set of prescription glasses,
You're looking
You're-
at
it's
280.
it's not too far
250.
off.
exactly be
Yeah.
two and $300. So for another $150, 200 bucks, I could get this functionality. You betcha. 100%.
I'd rather wear these all day than a watch.
Yeah,
Have the same
I
functionality
could
as
see
an Apple
that.
Watch.
Yeah.
You could do exercise tracking with them, all that kind of cool stuff.
I
The
can't
charger- the
exercise
charger's
with
pretty
glasses
cool
on.
looking.
Drives me nuts.
The charger's pretty cool looking too. It looks like a
nose
little
charger.
nose.
Stupid looking. I love
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I love it.
it. Yeah. No, these
Anyway,
are really
these things are cool, and I thought they
We
were
should-
worth talking about.
we should
Especially,
keep
and
an
I'm
eye
glad,
on 'em.
especially after what Jaron just talked about.
Yeah. Keep an eye. You're tasked with keeping an eye on these, Lando.
100%.
All right.
If I could
Pun
find extra
intended.
$350, I pre-order some right now.
Let's see. Owen, what's a commercial moon lander? That's what this article's about. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Private space travel to the moon.
Now we're talking.
So SpaceX launched them, but Intuitive Machines, a Houston company, they have sent a lander to the moon. So this is the first time an American presence has gone to the moon with a lander in quite some time. So
decades and decades.
yeah. So it's the Nova C lander named Odysseus, and it made it. It detached, no problems. Of course, SpaceX pretty reliable at this point, right?
Yeah.
They were going to launch on Wednesday, last Wednesday, but they didn't because SpaceX caught a anomaly in the temperature of some fuel line that was being refueled. So they're like, nope. So didn't blow up this one like they did to poor Mr. Facebook guy's stuff back in the day. Remember that? SpaceX blew up his satellite.
Oh yeah, Meta's satellites.
Yeah.
Zuck. Poor Zuck.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. Anyway. But so the cool thing about this is that they've trying some different propulsions because it's got some sensitive data on this lander, and the Van Allen belt, it's radiation right around Earth, and it prolonged exposure to that can really mess up electronics. So they've built a new type of propulsion, a supercooled liquid methane and oxygen engine to give it power to reach it. So it's going to fly faster through that area, get up to speed faster. So, they're going to, this is the first time they've returned to the moon since 1972.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a scientific, mission for sure, but they don't really say what it's doing. But they do say that it's not going to last long because where it's landing, after touchdown, the payloads are expected to run for roughly 7 days before lunar night sets in on the South Pole, rendering Odysseus inoperable.
Oh wow.
I wonder if it gets to go in 7-day stints though. So like after the lunar night, it comes back online. You know,
Like if it has solar panels or something.
yeah, Superman style. You know, where it's like
Yeah.
sunlight, power, no sunlight, mirror. So,
Cool.
but yeah, this is the second mission under NASA's initiative called Commercial Lunar Payload Services, or CLPS, CLPS. You know, I think NASA's starting to realize the benefit of not having to shoulder the public burden of failure, right? Like if this would have blown to pieces, people would have clapped. They'd have been like, wow, SpaceX, another rapid unplanned disassembly.
That's right.
That's so cool, everybody. Do it better next time. But if NASA does it, they're like, our tax dollars, you beastards. And they get all mad.
What?
So you heard me. I said what I said. So, but yeah, so they, I think they're starting to really see the benefit of these companies that want to get out in front and do some space, some commercial stuff. Maybe catch up to that. Have you guys seen that news article on that $250 billion meteor that's basically 90% platinum? They want to mine
I
it.
did see
Anyway.
that. And the whole last season of For All Mankind revolved around an asteroid like that.
Remember, Look
That
Up.
show
It
is
just reminds
so
me of that
good.
movie Look Up.
Oh, Look Up was a great movie. Too.
And they're like, anyway.
It infuriated me the whole
It's
time.
so,
but
so
I loved
angry. I know, so angry.
was a good
But it
movie,
was
though.
just a little bit too true. And it was just like, I hate it. So anyway, yeah, a lot of public commercial space exploration and scientific stuff. So I wonder if their cost is that they get to bring back their data and then sell it to NASA.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of NASA having to do the mechanical work, they just get to do the science work.
All right. Speaking of science work, Jaren has an article here about a new drug to help reduce the effects of allergies. Is that what
Yeah,
this is?
like peanut type allergies, nuts, stuff like that.
Those are bad.
Yeah, this is FDA approved, so it went through the approval process. It is a injection to lessen allergic reactions. You have to be 1 and up. but in a trial of 168 children and adults, participants who received the shot omalizumab.
Say again.
I am 1,000% certain you said that wrong.
No, I just looked-
Omalizumab
Yeah, it's right.
Oh, I think you
Spot
got
on.
for
Fair
16 to 20 weeks were much
Fair
more
ball.
likely to tolerate a test dose of food that they're allergic to. And I would have hate to be in this test group because the placebo group, didn't get it. And they had to endure full body hives, vomiting, coughing.
All the
Yeah.
problems
All
with
the
high
allergies.
allergy
Yeah.
food responses.
EpiPen. So
This is
if you've ever had to be stabbed by an EpiPen, it's not pleasant. Like, it's not a pleasant experience to go from one extreme to the other. So
I love that scene in Horrible Bosses when they have to use the EpiPen on the guy. And he
Yeah.
just keeps like stabbing him. Is this how you use it? This is how you use it, right?
So the people who got the shot, 68% handled the peanut doses without moderate to severe allergy symptoms.
interesting because this process has been around. Like, I've known children. Some of my neighbors had children with a severe peanut allergy, and they just went into an allergy clinic, and they would go like
Yeah,
twice
that's
a month.
That's a different
And-
thing, though. That's like desensitization, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same idea. Like, this is the same thing. It's introducing just the protein that causes the issue. But they would just actually use straight peanut butter, like a pinhead's worth of
I don't
peanut
think
butter.
it does do that. It works by binding to a class of antibodies in the body called immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin. There we go.
Nailed it.
That are specifically involved in allergic responses. So
Okay,
it,
so
it,
it's temporary, you
it
have to-
binds
it's-
to it and blocking it from it blocks it from.
So this would be a daily. This isn't a long-term fix then.
They're not specific about that,
Well,
but
they did say it took 16 to 20 weeks.
yeah, and it was an
test,
injection
so-
like every week or so.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. The people I know, they just went in and did the doses until it was at least manageable because their kid had such a high allergic reaction that like it was deadly, and so this at least gave them time to do a pen. So
Well, there you go. Someday allergies might be a thing of the past, and maybe this
And
is
everything.
a stop
We've made-
along the way.
we've made inroads in a lot of areas, cancer particularly this last couple years,
Yep, for sure.
and now this. So
All right, and last but not least, Walmart, the big retail, big box store, they are buying Vizio.
Yeah, they can have them.
Jaron, when would you say you fell off of Vizio's bandwagon? Because I know that you used,
You
to,
used to be big.
a Vizio fanboy.
Well, for a while, they delivered great value.
Their quality went down.
Yeah.
Their quality was decent, and they delivered great value. But then the Chinese brands came in, like TCL and Hisense,
Started undercutting that.
and Vizio just
market.
couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And at the same time, their value went down. My personal experience with Vizio was a nightmare. I hated that TV.
So Vizio was using LG screens, right? But just like
Well,
white
a
label.
lot of people use LG screens.
Yeah, but like they would like white label their boxes, like their parts, so that you didn't know. I wonder how they got away. How did they get away with selling so cheaply? Because I remember looking at Vizio and like a Samsung, and the price difference was half, but the
Yeah.
performance, at least early on, was
the same.
Was
We're really
comparative.
close anyway.
So was it that Samsung hadn't put their game on yet, or did Vizio have some secret sauce that they just once they started to try and really make money, they couldn't keep up with the other Chinese brands?
I don't think Vizio bought a lot of their panels from other manufacturers. I think they actually manufactured most of their own
Oh, okay.
back in the day anyway. I don't know how much that's changed. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that a company can do like Vizio is just decide they're going to have slimmer margins on the stuff they sell
see.
and hope to sell more.
More volume versus.
Exactly.
I see.
So, but yeah,
One-
there you go. Walmart purchasing Vizio for $2.3 billion
Wow.
with a
Wow.
B. And the main thing that Walmart's getting out of this is they're going to be able to have
A crappy brand.
a well-known brand.
Lining their pockets.
Yeah.
They sell Vizios currently, so it's
And-
not like anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna
but
change.
they're also going to have access now, deep access to the Vizio OS, so they'll be able to put whatever ads they want you to see
Which is also crappy.
on the Vizio SmartCast operating system. So that's
Screw
that's
that
the
noise.
that's the big win there. It's like, yeah, they can sell you the TV, but they also now can see all the,
Big win for who, Tony?
for Walmart.
Yeah, not for us.
No.
Not for us.
Well, I know several people that have had issues with Vizios in the last few years. I've kind of shied away from them myself as well, but that's neither
fair.
here nor there. Anyway, let's see. I think that winds things up for the day. Before we go, though, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. And if you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has right now.
I'd like to give a special heartfelt thanks to David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Woofable Tony. Thank
Here,
you
here.
guys. And that was not AI generated. That was Jaron generated. Thanks to Chalet Holmes. Insert Kerry Jackson's soundbite here.
Oh, hang on. I got that.
Nice.
Andy Bird, Be the 8-Year-Old, Travis Johnson, Buy Geekshow Arcade Help Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George K's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Kesslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, Owen has Tech Cred +2, Matt Nelson, Harry Patch, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd. History is there for you to learn from or repeat. Your choice. Ryan M. and Adam Hecht. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are awesome. All right. We're done. We'll see you next week or in 2 days if you listen to Geek Show Arcade. But until then, Lando, take us out.
When the power goes off, don't bother to reset your clock. Embrace the 12 o'clock flashing. Be an end user.